All right. Today we're going to talk about Saturday Legends, the game, and what it actually is. We started with Friday Legends, but now we have Saturday Legends. And I guess I should back up and say I'm Chris Daly, co-creator, and with me, as always, is Mighty Mike Wright. How are things, Mike?
Things are great, and especially with this Saturday Legends game. We've had a whole lot of fun with the Friday Night Legends, and we decided to create the college version. And man, this is an awesome game.
Yeah, definitely. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with either, Friday Night Legends is a game. It's a board game that allows you to take historic high school football teams and play them against each other based on their real statistics. So when you play 1967 Massillon against 1985 Hoover, Alabama, they play just like they played. And now we did the same thing with Saturday Legends, right?
Definitely. Now you can try and see if 1945 Army is as good as the 2019 LSU team, and have those two go at each other and see what happens. So, it's the same concept as Friday Night Legends, where you're limited on how many times you can run the ball versus pass, depending on how they did in their real life stats.
Yeah, because you've got like a 2001 Miami who is going to play way different than, like you said, the 1945 Army, or, what year was it, BYU, 1983, 82, somewhere in there when they won the national
put
championship.
the ball up quite a bit. So
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Half the passing plays for the BYU team, 50-50 shot. And then, but for 1945 Army, we give you everybody 72 possible plays, and out of those 72, I believe 60 of those are running for Army. So
well,
it's a little bit different.
And that brings up another interesting point about that, and that is game speed, because a 1945 Army team did a lot less plays than one of these air raid offenses of modern time. They do a lot more plays. So we have game speed taken into account there.
True. And there's three things I guess we're going to go over real quick, today, the differences between Saturday Legends and Friday Night Legends. One of them is that game speed. And like with Army, you really speed up when we say speed up the game, means they take less plays, they add more time to the clock. And that is a big part of this game. And if you do not use them, then Army may put up 70 on everybody.
Right.
They average like 50 points a game anyway. But if you don't take that extra time off the clock, which they did back in the day, and they really put people in a bind whenever they get up by a couple touchdowns and they start running that clock out. So, but that's one of the big things. The other big difference in this game is big plays. We have the big plays offense where you can get long gains and stuff. Big play defense is the big change. One of the big differences in the Friday Night Legends game, once you got a big play defense, is either a tackle, fumble, or a sack or interception on passing plays. But now the difference in Saturday Legends games is, first, whenever you roll a big play defense, it's still going to be a big play. Once you roll, like, say, big play on a running play, you can either have a tackle for loss or a fumble.
Right.
Now, that's the way we're in Friday Night Legends. You roll and see what happens, which one of those happen. In Saturday Legends, you'll roll the 20-sided dice again. If it's a 1 through 10, it's just a no gain.
Mm-hmm.
On passing plays, 1 through 10 is going to be an incomplete pass. Still a big play by your defense, but not as big play as a fumble or an interception.
Right. So it lowers the percentage of a turnover, basically.
Correct. Yeah. So you still have. So if the offense does a running play, and the defense comes up with a big play on the defense, you could either have a no gain, you can have a tackle for loss, or a fumble. On passing plays, you can have an incomplete pass, or a sack, or an interception. It still overrides all the other number of the other. Like if the offense threw a 20-yard pass, you got a big play defense, you're getting incomplete. It still overrides everything, though.
Right. And sorry, you probably saw me jerking around back here.
I was wondering what you're doing, man.
This has a green screen effect, right? Because there's obviously not a football field behind me in real life.
What? What? Say Saturday Legends on the football field? What in the world?
But I had a sweater on the back of my chair that was the same color as my shirt, so I kept switching back and forth trying to figure out where I ended.
I thought you had a hump.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
does that make is that clear as mud for you, Chris? The big plays on the defense. I know.
Yeah, I'm the test subject always. If Chris can understand it, the rest of the world can.
Definitely, and it's not so bad once you played if you played the Friday Night Legend games, you're used to. As soon as it's big play defense, you got tackle for loss or sack or interception.
Right.
But in sometimes people are disappointed. I have big play defense, and then it's an incomplete pass, and they go, well, but it did override that 20-yard completion that the offense just had. So
right.
There is a difference. So, but there's it's all in the statistics in the game. Now the other thing that's big in this game is special teams.
Right.
For Friday Night Legends, of course, with the high school teams, sometimes you're lucky to find any stats at all, much less no special team stats. Now we're fortunate in the college game, we can find the special team stats. Now it comes up big because some teams had great punters. Now the older teams, their punters did not, like today's punters, average 43 yards a punt.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you got a 40-yard punt, that was a great punt back in the day. Now they average 43, so it's a huge difference. Punting game, you also look at their punt returns versus punt return defense, kickoff versus kickoff return defense. Say on a punt, say if Team A was going to punt, the first thing you do is look at your punter rating, and if you got +2. Once you roll to see how far the punt, if it was a 40-yard punt, you just add 2 yards to it. It's a 42-yard punt. Then you do the return before the game starts. You check your punt return rating versus their the defense rating of the other team. So that team has their punt return rating for the game. So if they have a -2 and the return is 4 yards, they only returned it 2 yards. So you had a 42-yard punt, 2-yard return. So 40-yard net. So
and I tell you that's one of the things, the changes to the team sheet or the score pad too, is we have a spot there for you to calculate that ahead of time, because if you're adding to your punt and subtracting from their return and adding to their punt return coverage, that's a lot of work. But if you do it at the beginning of the game, we got spots there where you just do it so that when Mike, when you punt to me, it's going to be +3, When you punt to you, it's going to be -1 or whatever.
True. Yeah. And it does. I mean, it really gets you to thinking, sometimes, because say your punter has a -3, and then, there's certain teams out there that just had great punt return
has
teams.
A +6 or something. Yeah.
So you're going to be at a -9 already, and you don't want to give up that extra yardage every time. So maybe you choose to punt out of bounds every time, which is another option.
For it, depending on where you are.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but the punting out of bounds is something new we've added to both games. It's a little bit less yardage, but still doesn't give them the opportunity to return it. Of course, there is a chance that you don't kick it out of bounds, because you know how those punters are. They don't listen all the time.
Nice. And it is a funny shaped ball, and it sometimes doesn't do what you think you want it to do.
Definitely. So the three big changes in Saturday Legends is the clock speed. Whether you can add or subtract time to your plays, big plays on defense, how it's calculated, and use of special teams, and all three of those things come into play, and highly suggest you use those three. Definitely use those three when you're playing the game. If not, you may get a little strange results from time to time. But sometimes you get strange results anyway. So
that's true. And I do want to remind everybody, just like Friday Night Legends, Saturday Legends has a Facebook group. Go there, post your scores, post your stories. We've got some people doing some great write-ups, and that's half the fun, is seeing what the rest of the world is doing, and when they're putting together a tournament, or whether they're putting together, a season for a particular team. That's a blast to me, just seeing what everybody's doing.
It really is. And then, some people come up with some matchups I'd never dreamed of. And then I was like, wow, that turned out pretty good. Might have to try that one myself. Or like what I did with Saturday Legends was do the 1982 SMU Pony Express.
Oh,
keeping track with keeping track with Eric Dickerson and Craig James, keeping their stats, and having them play some of the greatest Southwest Conference teams. So that was a lot of fun. So, but you know, it's pretty endless of who you can play, which teams can play who. So it's a lot of fun.
Sounds good. Well, Mike, thank you again, and thank to everybody out there for tuning in.
Yeah, be sure and subscribe to this video, and join us on Saturday Legends and Friday Night Legends on Facebook.